is Za'Darius Smith going from the Cleveland Browns to the Detroit Lions. Now, not a heavy compensation package right here. Za'Darius Smith for a 2026 7th-round pick to Detroit, and then they're getting back a 2025 5th-round pick, and then a 2026 6th-round pick. So Za'Darius Smith and a 2026 7th going for basically a 5th-round pick this year and a 6th-round pick next year. So, Ollie, not a lot, right? And it's not a lot. When these veterans are at the deadline, it just feels like you can get them for pretty dang cheap most of the time. And here we are. We've talked about this for the Lions over the last couple of weeks, being in the running to go out and get a pass rusher. Now, this is a team that I love what the Lions are doing, right? Because they're coming off big wins. They're not sitting here waiting for okay, because the Lions could have been a team that says, all right, well, let's wait. Let's go into Green Bay. Let's see how we play in Green Bay. And if we can't win in Green Bay, then we'll get really aggressive at the trade deadline. No. They went in and they won in Green Bay. And then they said, okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just try to get better. Let's try to keep stacking this roster as best we can. So some thoughts on Za'Darius Smith going to the Detroit Lions. What do you got?
Yeah, I love the way you frame that, right? Because you cannot be the raw, aggressive team, the aggressive staff asking for the buy-in from players, and then kind of wuss out when you get to the trade deadline. If you think there's someone missing, right, the locker room can smell it out. And so you're just stacking on top we are all in, we believe we can win it this year, and we're going to be as aggressive as possible, looking to try and find a way to replicate in any way we can the loss of Aiden Hutchinson. And I think Za'Darius Smith looked to open the season. I was pretty concerned that we were seeing if not a stark decline, a pretty significant one. I thought the first 4 weeks of the season, it didn't quite look that smooth. He didn't have much pop off the ball. The power moves weren't quite as relentless as they have been in the past. And then from about week 5 onwards, when he's faced probably better competition than he even did in those opening weeks, he started to come back online. And still some of his production, if you just go by some of the metrics, is concentrated in a few weeks, which may give you some pause. But I just love the idea of getting a veteran presence in there, someone who wins in a pretty specific way, but you can just kind of lock that in and say, if we give him 30 reps a game, he's probably going to get us 5-6 wins a week, and that's more than they have right now in terms of like reliability and production. And maybe, as we get close to the postseason, someone with that kind of veteran savvy, that could even tick up as we move along. So I just think for such a buy low situation, it's an excellent move from them. And Smith, after having the slow start, has really come on this season.
Yeah, over the last 3 weeks, specifically weeks 7, 8, and 9, total pressure, 6, 9, 3, passers win percentage, 21.1, 23.5, 22.7. I mean, anytime you're hovering right around those low 20 percentile, especially for a 3-week stretch, you're doing pretty good as a pass rusher. And of course, there's some opportunities where the volume is heavier than others. And obviously the matchup of who you're going up against, the offensive tackles matters. They played the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Chargers specifically, I think, having a 22.7 passers win percentage, even though the pressures was lower and the opportunities were lower still, those two good offensive tackles that you're going up against. And Smith is one of those players that's sort of uniquely built, right? He's 6'4", he's 275 pounds. The Cleveland Browns have not been afraid to use him in all different areas, right? They'll use him as a stand-up linebacker in a mug look, right in front of the nose tackle. They'll use him all the way as a 7 technique, as a stand-up guy. And so he, to me, really helps just improve the customization of what you want to do on that defensive line. You're right, it's not as streamlined of a role as sort of what Hutchinson was doing for you and the impact that he was having there, but I love the way that you said it. Anytime that you are a contending team and you get the chance to add a veteran player that is still playing at a decently high level, that knows what he's doing, obviously going to play with his hair on fire to try to win a championship here, I think it's a great move. Great move for Detroit. Specifically, we talk about the return. Za'Darius Smith and a 2026 7th for a 5th and a 6th. Come on. I mean, like, you're going for a Super Bowl here. To me, that's worth it every time. So I agree. I think that this was a very good move here by the Detroit Lions to make this one happen. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you come one today.